Hey everybody, my toy Bonsai Boise. This is going to be a quick update on my trees. As you can see, I moved. So this is the first load of trees that I packed into my truck to move to the new house. Packed them in there pretty tight so that they wouldn't shuffle around too much. Here's the second load that I packed into my truck. There were many loads. But I'd say if you ever move, I'd recommend this method. Take a shelf of some type, lay it down, put the trees in between the shelves. Kind of holds them in there pretty good. So here's just a quick look at them from the back of the truck. This was a few weeks ago. I think I even packed a couple more in there, squeezed them into some spots. And these are just the outdoor trees. Still had all the indoor trees to deal with, but we'll look at those in another video. And here it is, as about a week ago at the new house. This is not going to be the permanent setup. I'm going to adjust some things here and there, but this is the good enough setup for now. So here's a quick look. I've got a ton of willows right now. A ton of willows, and on this rack I put mostly just the willow cuttings and just other cuttings and seedlings that kind of sprouted up. Nothing to focus on now. Here's a Schefflera. I put this out right away. Just, it was a little early to put tropical trees out, but I kind of wanted to experiment and just see how well it would do. And so far I'd say it's doing fine. It's not unusual for leaves to do that, kind of crisp up and fall off after the winter. Here's one of my Siberian elms. It's doing this kind of curved look thing. One of my willow fusions and my katanister. Here's an Amur maple, also doing kind of a curved trunk look. Here's my juniper. It's my first juniper I ever got back in 2017. It's about 6.5 years ago. Starting to work on some pads there, trying to. It's in a little bit of an awkward phase, but it seems to be growing really well right now, so that's good. Here's my dwarf Alberta spruce. It's growing in really well. It wasn't looking too good, had me slightly worried there for a minute, but it's bouncing back. There's another Amur maple back there. Leafed out a little early, I think, but seems to be doing fine. There's a green ash cutting from a couple years ago. Just another Siberian elm cutting. Back there's my S-shaped silver maple. I repotted that a couple of months ago. Got a little footage of it, but nothing really worth sharing. It's pretty uneventful. Here's my main Siberian elm back there, from which all other Siberian elms that I have came from, either from cutting or air layer. It's doing well. Still needs some work though. Got some reverse taper issues to deal with. There is what was the top of that Siberian elm. I did an air layer on it a year and a half ago. It's doing well. This is my one and only Zelkova Japanese elm. It survived the winter. I left it outside all winter. There's a green ash back behind there if I can get to it. And here's some little Amur maple seedlings, saplings. That is a honey crisp apple. Some of those are newer trees that I haven't fully introduced yet. Just wait for them to take off. That is a privet cutting back there, and that is a Hinoki cypress, which I've yet to really do a full video on. Here's just a little boxwood I picked up at some point. My Siberian elm forest. Oh, sorry. This guy. Let me get him out of the way. Siberian elm forest. I did repot this one as well, and I haven't posted that video. I'm kind of saving it for some progress clips to add to it. But its pot cracked and fell apart, so I had to repot it. There's a Siberian elm cutting back there. There's a katanister, which is coming in pretty well, which I actually took just a quick little clip of the other day. Let me show you that real quick. Here it is as of just yesterday. Had some little flowers coming in, so I just wanted to capture it. I haven't repotted it or anything, just picked it up on clearance one day and been sort of slowly working on the style of it. I'd say it's got some pretty cool potential. Nice little pink flowers on there. But I digress. There's my Virginia creeper. Repotted that recently. Did a video on that. It's coming in nicely. My other privet. And it's my Shantung maple. Had some dieback this year, as you can see. The top part of it just died back completely. Which is not the end of the world, because it was looking kind of ugly up there. It had some weird exposed wood. It was just kind of goofy. Yeah, it's super dead up there. But the leaves came in everywhere else, so I'm happy about that. I just need to do some work on it now. That is a honey locust. I always forget the name of it. Back there is just some cuttings I'm trying to root. Those are my New Mexican olive cuttings. Those are coral bark Japanese maple cuttings, which seem to be leafing out, but that can be deceiving. They'll do that sometimes. They'll even stay like that all summer long, and then in the fall or winter just die. Those are trident maple cuttings there. Some seem to be doing all right, some do not. Here's more cuttings. Those are some Siberian elm cuttings. Some seem to make it, some didn't. A lot of those little ones are the Jacqueline Hillier elm cuttings. Those are trident maple. Those seem to be leafing out. And a lot more just elm cuttings. Sometimes I just, as I'm trimming it, I don't put any thought into it. I just take the cutting and just stick it in one of those pots. And that's that. That is a cork bark Japanese maple, which I picked up last year. Haven't really done any work to it yet, aside from just trimming the top off once when I was moving. That is one of the willows I did a video on recently. It's growing in real nice. I'm going to trim it back soon. It's getting pretty top heavy, which I do not want. It's just goofy. So I'm going to trim it back. This is a Yamadori, I call it Urban Yamadori apple tree, which I picked up last summer. Nice and healthy. This is my honeysuckle, which, believe it or not, that giant thing was a cutting about 4 or 5 years ago. One of my, I think that's a blue chip juniper, which I also just took some footage on, which I haven't posted yet. I gave it a trim and I'm starting to work on some pads for it. It was growing in everywhere and looking kind of furry. I'll post a full video on it a little later when I have some progress clips to add to it. This is my crab apple tree. I bought that at Costco for $25 like 4 years ago. Did a big trunk chop on it a couple years ago. One little flower. There it is. It doesn't respond super well to being pruned, I've noticed. I prune it once and it kind of just slows way down for the rest of the year. So it's probably just a timing thing that I need to figure out. There's my Jacqueline Hillier elm. Did a video on it recently. It's growing in a lot. This is my trident maple. I'm going to call it a clump or maybe a mini forest, but I haven't done anything with it yet other than major trunk chops. This thing was probably 10 or 12 feet tall before I moved, but that was not doable. I was not going to be able to move with it like that, so I had to chop it down. And I slip potted it into this bigger pot because it was pretty tight in its other pot, and it dried out really quickly. So I slip potted it into here with a bunch of bark. In fact, that's all I put in it. I just slip potted it into just pine bark. Kind of seeing how that goes. So far it's doing fine. And back one's being a troublemaker though. It won't back bud below, see? Just one long bare trunk all the way down. So not sure yet what to do about that. No hurry. This is my lilac tree. It's called a presidential grivy. Flowering out. It's not really a bonsai. Could be someday, but for now it's just kind of like a landscaping tree / vine thing. Really pretty. Really low maintenance. I like it. Started from just a tiny little bare rooted thing that I got from Walmart for like $9. Maybe 10 years ago or something. Look at that massive trunk. If I want to bonsai it later, it's got great potential. But my girlfriend loves it the way it is, so if I chopped it way down, she probably wouldn't like it. So we'll let it go. That is I call it the big pot Siberian elm. I picked that up for $50 last year on Marketplace. Somebody had it, it was much bigger, and she planted a bunch of flowers in that pot. I haven't repotted it or anything yet, because it's going to be quite a job. For now, I'm just sort of letting it go. You can see it's back budding all over. I'll probably air layer it in one, maybe even two spots when it comes time. Probably right there, maybe even lower. I don't know. That would be one and maybe one below it. I don't know. Remains to be seen. Yeah, there's all these, I think those are tulips in there. That's a blueberry. It died way back. It had this cool kind of trunk going, and then it died way back. And it's just got those two shoots. That's been in that pot for 8 or 9 years maybe. It was a bummer that it died back. And this is my big pot silver maple. Potted it up about 5 or 6 years ago in that pot. Did a big trunk chop on it recently. And that's all I got for now. I'll keep you updated. Thanks for watching and have a good rest of your day.